We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
About Town, typically hosted by Mayor Woody Washam, but today you just get me. I'm MaeLynn Joyner, the communications manager for the Town of Cornelius, and I am joined by two of my favorite people in the world because they do what I do and they get it. I'm with Jessica and Ethan from Davidson and Huntersville, respectively. Would you guys like to say hello to our audience this morning?
Hello, good morning. So happy to be here.
Good morning, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I always say that I'm happy to be here today. I mean it more than I usually do. I never thought I would get out of the Houston airport, so.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So you guys are the communications director and PIO, if I'm right. We all have different titles and they all mean basically the same thing. Can you tell me a little bit about your roles with your towns?
Sure. I am the communications director for the town. Every day is a little bit different and just as exciting as the last and the next. Work with media outlets, press releases, marketing strategies, PR, social media, communications plans on the whole.
Yeah, and I'm the public information officer for the Town of Huntersville. Like Jessica said, every day is a little bit different. So we work on trying to strategically share content that promotes and protects the Town of Huntersville, try to serve our residents by getting things out in front of them that they need to know. We do a little bit of everything in terms of multimedia, videography, photography, graphic design, website content management and everything. And so it's just a little bit different every day, and I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a catch-all, and that's one of the things that I love about the job is there's so much variety to it. You know, it doesn't feel like every single day I'm just the videographer for the town or just the photographer. I feel like in a lot of ways, whenever you work in communications, a lot of people do talking, but you're the voice of the town. You know, you kind of bring it all together and decide who you are, what you care about, and, you know, you filter things to decide what is most important to residents and how to best deliver it. And it's a very critical job in government because, of course, we always want to be truthful and transparent.
Absolutely.
And so we work diligently every day to make sure that that happens with all of the town going-ons. How did you guys get into communications?
So I earned a journalism degree from Elon University, and from there I went to work for a daily newspaper in Eastern North Carolina. I was a crime and courts reporter and had work appear in USA Today, the Associated Press, and the Denver Post. And when I got a little bit tired of the if it leads, it bleeds, I started looking for a way out of journalism. It's still a great profession. I just decided that it wasn't for me, and went back to my hometown, Morganton, North Carolina, where I was hired as their public information officer. They have a really storied public information officer program. They've had one since the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
So I was the city's third, to my knowledge, and worked there for a number of years doing, communication support for 16 departments by myself in the city of Morganton. And after some years there, went to Union County, just south of us, and I was part of their 7-person communications team down there. And they are awesome, love everybody there, and they were great to work with. And so then they, an opportunity in Huntersville presented itself to go out on my own again and do some really good communications work for this town. And so started here back in June of 2023.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very, very fascinating past years. I feel like a lot of people make the hop over from journalism to comms for a variety of reasons, but we're glad that you're there. You're doing great work in Huntersville, and I know it's a very busy place. What about you, Jessica?
Mine's a little less linear of a path to communications. I was in D.C. for about 14 years as a chief clerk for a congressional committee, and then my most recent experience was serving as alumni director for Converse University in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So maybe not a direct line, but communications, government relations, strategic thinking, PR, and public service have always played a role and been a part of my career path. So the Town of Davidson had an opening for their communications director, and I was lucky enough to be selected to be in the role. So I've been serving since May of 2023. And I'm just really lucky to be a part of this community now.
We're lucky to have you. We all, work together very closely as a region, and then even, throughout the county. we have a lot of friends in different places, and so we all get to share our strategies, talk about different ways to communicate, and kind of figure out what the best course of action is to deal with certain topics. And communications, like I said earlier, is different for everyone, and it kind of has a very loose definition. It can be anything. A lot of people think it's just marketing. A lot of people think it's just social media. What is communications to you guys? How would you define it?
I think overall it is, to speak to where Ethan went earlier, is getting information and education in a timely and accurate manner out to our residents in whatever manner that means, in whatever way that is, whether it's in person, online, in print. But I think our role is to ensure that our residents are informed, absolutely, and I wanted to say communicated too, right? But that we're communicating to them in a way that is well received and receptive to them.
Yeah, no longer are those shadowy dark rooms where all the decisions are made.
Right, transparent.
We love it, and we love it when people are engaged. I know my mayor and board specifically are very big on engagement. They really do want to hear from people. We put out surveys, and we have discourse on social media, and we love having conversations about the things that are going on, not just telling people how they should feel or what they should do, but understanding what their priorities are, you know. And there are a lot of different ways that we can go about that. I know you both described some of your job duties, and I think we all have big overlap there. You know, I also make videos, social media content, graphic design, operate the website, the new website. You should go check it out. It's at cornelius.org, and it's beautiful.
It is great.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I think it's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what are your favorite parts of the job? You know, it is different every day, but I feel like me personally, I have some shining moments where I'm like, oh, this is what I love about it. What about you?
I like the fact that every day is a little bit different, and there is just some excitement every day going into it, wondering, you know, what's next, but also having that consistency of working within the town and our departments and working with residents and their priorities. Just being an integral part of the Davidson community is probably one of my favorite things about the job.
Yeah, I really love the versatility and the people. You know, the versatility of it all. One moment you're doing media relations, next you're writing a policy on crisis communications, then you're trying to update or redesign a website, and then you also have to be an expert in social media. And, you know, it's all about implementing all those different tools to meet people where they are and make sure residents are getting the information they need. And, you know, there's a million different ways to do that. And so the chance to do that in a whole bunch of different ways is not something that a lot of jobs offer. And I have found in my, you know, years in government now, almost a decade, that the people really are the best part, both the staff that you work with and that, you know, for lack of a better term, that you're in the trenches with every day trying to get everything out for residents, and the people that you deal with from your community. Huntersville is a very engaged community with their government, and we love that. I know our board loves that. And, you know, we welcome that because it's a whole lot better than those darkroom decisions where you're just kind of like, I think people want this. And, you know, then you put that out there and you don't know what you're going to get. So if you know that up front, it's a lot better. And the staff that I work with all along the way, and specifically in Huntersville, has been really amazing. And I've met some truly wonderful people. Yeah,
I definitely hear you on that. I think for everyone, you know, the people are really the make or break of it all. We love our residents, and we are very lucky that we do have engaged residents. We'll talk more about all that after this quick break. You're listening to About Town.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, another nice day on the way across the Lake Norman area. Sunshine is back, so another day to dry things out after a lot of rain on Tuesday. Temperatures getting a little warmer, too, as we climb into the mid-50s, and wind, not so much of a problem this afternoon either. We'll stay clear tonight as temperatures drop back down to around freezing. We'll start our Friday morning with sunshine, but as we head throughout the day, clouds will increase, and you have to keep an eye out for a few showers and a rain chance, possibly even a rumble of thunder as we head into our Friday evening. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Rocky Lynn is playing at Kane Center for the Arts Saturday, January 20th. Having performed all over the world, written hit songs, and mentored artists, Rocky Lynn is making another stop here at home. Rocky Lynn, Saturday, January 20th, cainarts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Quilters and knitters unite! The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza is happening this month at the Statesville Civic Center, Friday, January 26th and 27th. Admission is $5. Come explore the many beautiful fabrics, styles, and maybe even buy a new sewing machine. The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza at Statesville Civic Center on January 26th and 27th. Birkdale on Ice is still going on through January 28th. Time to lace up your skates and hit the ice. To make sure you can skate when you want, we recommend you making a reservation. For skate session info, including times and pricing, visit birkdalevillage.com. Mooresville Parks and Recreation presents The Hitmen of Country, playing at the Charles Mack Simpson Center, Friday, January 19th. Love country music? The Hitmen of Country have toured and recorded with some of the country's greatest artists, like Keith Urban, Trace Adkins, Travis Tritt, and Jason Aldean. For more information, go to visitmooresville.com. That's visitmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
About Town continues now. Here's your host, Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to About Town, typically hosted by Mayor Woody Washam, but I'm MaeLynn Joyner, filling in today for the mayor. I am here with Jessica Eggimann and Ethan Smith from Davidson and Huntersville, and we were just talking a little bit about our shared jobs. We're all the communications people for our respective towns. We all love what we do, and it's a little bit different every day, which is half the fun. But having a job that's a little bit different every day can pose some challenges. What do you guys think the biggest challenges in your roles are?
I'll say making sure you cover all your bases, because you think that you have covered everything. You know, you meet with your staff and you talk to management, you talk to your board about how to get different things out, and, you know, that piece of how to meet people where they are. And inevitably, ever so often, it pops up, you know, hey, I didn't see that at all. And it's like, how? We put it on our website, we put it on social, we sent it out via email. How did you miss that? But, you know, that's an opportunity to learn, okay, there are residents in our town that don't exist in these spheres of influence, and we need to kind of thread that needle and add that into our toolkit to make sure we're hitting there. We had a planned power outage recently, and we strategically shared it out through Nextdoor and on our website to amplify the message for the power company. And, you know, we still miss some people, and we heard about it. You know, our residents called us and said, hey, you know, I didn't see it anywhere. Why didn't I know about this? And that's when you say, you know, hey, I appreciate the feedback. We're working on refining our processes. And, you know, I welcome what you're saying, because that helps me do my job better, which is primarily, it all boils down to just serving our residents the best way we can.
Yeah, I would like it if I could talk to all 32,000 people personally and let them know exactly what's going on, but I don't always have the time to do that. And so it is really tricky, and I'm sure, Jessica, you experienced this too, where we have these pockets that it seems like we miss with these important messages. And it does seem, you know, almost confusing as to how that can happen whenever it feels like everybody's on social media. We learned, or at least I learned very early on in my job, that not everybody is on social media. And even if you are, these algorithms are so tricky. You know, if you engage with a page a lot, you might see their content more. If you don't engage with them as much, you might not see the important messages that come across. So it really is a balancing act as to, you know, how much effort can we put into one single message to make sure that it gets out to as many people as possible. How do we do that? Is there a way to do it? And we're always refining that process and trying to find new ways to do it. If you have any tips, please let me know.
I know. I think that was going to be one of my challenge points, as well as reaching everyone. And again, how they need to be met. I know we've started implementing a little more community outreach. We started town talks, so we would go into the community, specific program discussions. This year was tax assistance programs, and our affordable housing chat program. So we would actually go into the community and provide public service hours,
Yeah.
mobile office hours, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
We found that to be a good touch point. And then also being present as a town at our local events. So anytime the town of Davidson has an event, there's a town table.
Mm-hmm.
So there's marketing materials, there's handheld educational pieces to provide. That has been really helpful as well, because these AI and algorithms on social media, sometimes they're working with us and sometimes they're working against us.
You never know which way the tide's going to go.
That's right.
And that's definitely a huge challenge. And I agree that meeting people where they are is probably the most effective way to do it. You know, we can go out to these community events, we can partner with HOAs and churches and places where we know people are already congregating. I think the issue is that government is not always what people want to hear about. And I think in recent years, there's been this huge shift with government comms where we're finally catching up to what everybody else is doing. We're finally looking sleeker. We're finally a little bit shinier. But sometimes it's the topics themselves. You know, people, especially in Cornelius, have a lot of concerns about traffic. And we talk about traffic a lot, and people want to know about traffic. But if we just put up the PowerPoint every time, you know, people lose a little bit of interest. And so it is definitely, you know, an ongoing process of trying to figure out what ways to present the information where it's palatable and where it's easy to digest and you actually get all the facts that you want instead of just feeling more frustrated at the end of it. I know my communications department is relatively young, and I knew both of your predecessors fairly well, and I think both of your departments are relatively young in your towns too. I think the first communications manager for the town of Cornelius was only hired in 2019, something like that. I'm really glad that happened because, you know, I look at our day-to-day operations and like, how did we get information out before that? But we're going to keep trying our hardest, and I'm sure you guys are too, to make things a little bit better every day. And to all of you out there listening, you know, we're accessible. We're here. If you do not see our messages, please let us know if, you know, you have any suggestions for places to go, people to meet with, anything like that. We're all ears all the time. Yeah. I think communications is not only about disseminating information, but also receiving it and deciding what to do with that. So
100%.
yeah, you guys do a great job of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So within our departments, we always have something going on. There is always an improvement of some sort. Do you guys have any large projects or endeavors that you're undertaking right now?
Yes, the list is so long and exciting. I think top on our list in the town of Davidson is an upcoming launch of a new parking app, Park Davidson. We're really, really excited about this. A chance to provide live stream data to visitors and residents to assist in finding available parking in town. It's one of the short-term actions that came out of our downtown small area plan. And so we're just thankful for the board's support and work on this, and really looking forward to being able to expand and improve on ways we provide our residents and visitors with safe and convenient, accessible, and reliable parking.
Yeah, hopefully it helps with Christmas in Davidson next year when
I
you get
know,
your 200,000 visitors.
We'll see.
Just out of curiosity, how does that work? Is it like Park Mobile? I know I use Park Mobile a lot in the city.
We used, it's a little bit different than Park Mobile. We used Park Nav.
Okay.
It's more of a live data parking availability.
Okay.
And so it provides drivers safely to navigate towards an area of town that has parking available for them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting.
It's going to be fun.
What about you, Ethan?
Yeah, so we're really excited. We have a website redesign that we're launching in the next few weeks. So the Town of Huntersville website, huntersville.org, will have a brand new look and feel and navigate a lot better than our current website. We went about it, and you know, it's been a long time in the making. It was something that was already in progress before I started. So my predecessor was getting the ball rolling on that, and then I kind of came in and, you know, kept it going. And we started the process, I want to say back in April or May, when my predecessor was still here. And so it'll have a complete new look, new navigation, new structure. And at the same time with the redesign, we've been working on content and onboarding some new tools that will be integrated with the new website that should help people find what they need on our website a lot easier and a lot better. We went about it in a really interesting way. It's something I did in the city of Morganton when I was there. I redesigned 6 websites for the city of Morganton all at one time, and they all launched on the same day.
That's crazy.
So I learned,
so fun.
Yeah, so fun. And so I learned a lot from that process, and I tried to implement that, for the town of Huntersville on a smaller scale, since we just have the one website. And so something we did was we had a design committee of staff members who had a lot of input and say on the homepage and interior page design and navigation. And then when it was time to start building content and reimagining what that would look like, we broke away from that committee and created groups for each department that lives on the website, and had sessions in-house where we all sat in the room and said, here's your current section of the website. What do you love? What do you hate? What do you never want to see again? What do you get a lot of calls about? What do you get no calls about? What's something you wish you saw? And just really, they were each 3 to 4 hour sessions, just completely picking apart each department. And then we got to work on restructuring and rebuilding those departmental pages. And then when we launch in a couple of weeks, it'll have a whole new look and feel as well. Again, the staff I work with is awesome, and they have all been incredibly willing to help and get busy on the back end of the site, recreating it, and kind of learn a new way of doing things. So something we're trying to do alongside this is launch a website governance guide. So if you're in your department, you're not a communications person, but you have the authority to update the content on the website, you're empowered to do that because you have a guide on how to do that. And I've been training people on how to reference that guide, how to use it, and the whole idea is to get everything in a consistent feel and consistent format. So it all reads the same, has the same feel. And when you go to the Town of Huntersville website, okay, I'm in Huntersville now. There's a look, there's a feel, there's a way this reads. And that speaks to something we're hoping to do in the future, which I know we'll touch on later, but, as branding and telling our story, because that's another huge piece of government communications that I feel is relatively new. And I'd say about the past decade of government comms is a little bit of that marketing and branding piece. If you don't tell your own story, other people are going to tell it for you. And so doing the work to get out in front of that and create a look, a feel, a voice, and enforce it across the organization is a really crucial piece of government communications. And so I'm hoping we have effectively done that. The design itself is inspired by our downtown greenway, the Vine, and the shores of Lake Norman. So we took a little bit of place setting to create the aesthetic, and then tried to make it really simple, quick, and effective to find what you need, and the content got trimmed up a lot. So we're really excited for people to get in there and dig around. And it's a website is a living, breathing thing. And so throughout this process, after we launch, if we get feedback, hey, we wish we would have done this or that. The great thing about a website is that we might not be able to change the design, the actual way it looks for a little while, but we can always update content and move around navigation. And so we're excited to get it off the floor and start getting feedback and see what we can improve throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you guys. Our website was also a long time in the making, and I remember my first day in town hall, my previous boss, she pulled up the website and I said, I hate it. Like, just flat out, I didn't like the way it looked, and I didn't think it spoke to what Cornelius is and how it feels for the people who live there and the people who visit. And so we definitely brought in, some brighter colors, and we brought it out of the dark ages, as I like to call them. And so far, it's been really well received, which is the nice thing about it, because it did take a lot of work and a lot of effort on the part of many members of our staff. And so for people to say, I can find the things that I'm looking for now, it's easier for me to get in touch with you guys. I have an easier time, all around with what the website has to offer. It's really a digital town hall now instead of just a place where you feel chored going to, But we can talk so much more about websites once we get back from a quick commercial break. Thank you for listening to About Town. We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. We'll return with more of Mayor Woody Washam and About Town in just a moment on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, another nice day on the way across the Lake Norman area. Sunshine is back, so another day to dry things out after a lot of rain on Tuesday. Temperatures getting a little warmer, too, as we climb into the mid-50s, and wind, not so much of a problem this afternoon either. We'll stay clear tonight as temperatures drop back down to around freezing. We'll start our Friday morning with sunshine, but as we head throughout the day, clouds will increase, and you have to keep an eye out for a few showers and a rain chance, possibly even a rumble of thunder as we head into our Friday evening. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Thinking of a truck? Think Sierra, a GMC Sierra, and Black Automotive is where you find it. No matter where you're heading or what task you're tackling, there's a premium capable Sierra 1500 that's perfect for you. Now you can take $7,000 off the Sierra 1500 crew cab models with a 5.3 motor, or you can take 1.9% interest for 36 months. Take the 2023 GMC Terrain for a test drive and just see what you're missing. It's a wonderful SUV, and you'll love this one. Now take $4,000 off the 2023 GMC Terrain or your choice of 1.9% interest for 36 months. Choose the 2023 Canyon Elevation, $2,000 off. And if a pre-owned is more in your budget, see the mile-long inventory of trucks and cars. See Black Automotive, the Greater Car Trader, home of Buick, GMC, Dodge, Jeep, Dodge Ram, and so much more. Iredell County's most preferred dealer, Black Automotive, Salisbury Road, Statesville, just off I-77.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Here's a WSIC Business Minute with local entrepreneur and host of Local Biz Now, Joe Vagnone.
I've been buying and selling, owning, operating franchises since 1990. There are few franchising trends to be on the lookout. More white-collar employees turned to franchising in the last 2 years, and they're finally willing to open their savings account to do it. E-commerce continues to thrive. Franchising that takes fewer employees to operate with advanced technology to reduce the number of employees. A surprising trend many of us never thought would happen. Private equity firms are now willing to accept franchises when purchasing companies. This is a material shift in a large buyer profile with plenty of cash.
This has been a WSIC Business Minute with Joe Vagnone. Listen for tips on how to improve your business daily on WSIC News Talk Now.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam, except for today, it's hosted by me, MaeLynn Joyner, Communications Manager for the Town of Cornelius. I am joined by Jessica and Ethan, who work for Davidson and Huntersville, doing what I do, probably a little bit better.
Doing great.
You guys are awesome at what you do, and we were just talking in depth about the Huntersville website that is launching soon. Cornelius just went through its own website redevelopment project, and so we have a lot to commiserate about. It's a beautiful, messy process that ended in a product that I'm very proud of and that I've heard from some of our residents they seem to enjoy as well. I know we went through a similar process to the one that you described, where we really tried to dig in and look at what information was useful and what information was not. On the old website, we had this tendency to just list out everything in one long paragraph. So as soon as you got to a page, you learned about all of the programs underneath that page and every policy and everything else. And what we ended up learning in the process was that people don't mind clicking. They don't mind coming to a page and having options and then following, their own path to whatever information it is that they're trying to find. And so I would say that was probably one of our greatest challenges in building that, was just paring everything down and trying to figure out what people actually needed to see, and trying to find a place for everything to live that made sense. So if you did want to go more in depth, you could follow those breadcrumbs, down a very long trail, and you could get to the nittiest, grittiest in a lot of ways. When did you say your new website was launching?
January 31st.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is soon.
So right around the corner, got 20 days.
Yeah, at huntersville.org.
Huntersville.org.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it. And I think I said this before the break, but websites are incredibly important. People don't love visiting government websites. Usually you have something to do once you get there. But I wanted to make it a more pleasant experience so that once you got there, you kind of learn a little bit more about the town that you live in. You know, maybe you went there to go look at dogs that are available for adoption and you happen to find an event that you really want to go to. It sounds like it speaks to you, where you can meet other people in your town and, you know, really build that sense of community. I like to think of it as a digital town hall, but I'd also like to think of it as a little bit more than that. So
I've got two philosophies on, you know, that I've heard a website should be, which is, you know, your town's front porch. So advertising, marketing, getting people the necessary information at a glance. And then the second thing is, you know, what can you do on a Saturday at 3 a.m.? And so, you know, we all work around the clock, but our business hours are, you know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And, you know, weekends mostly off. And so if somebody comes to your website Saturday at 3 a.m., can they sign up for a program? Can they send in an application? Can they find the information they need when no one's around to pick up the phone and answer the other end? You know?
Coming fresh off of our website redevelopment, I am just really interested in hearing more about yours. What function or tool or page do you think is most beneficial to your community that's coming with this new website?
So the way we've restructured the homepage is something I'm really excited about. Currently, something called key links, or it varies based on the company. There's graphic icon buttons. There's a whole swath of names for them, but really on the homepage, it's those 6 buttons at the bottom on the first scroll, where it kind of targets you in toward really high contact information. So information for new residents, information to submit applications, find employment for jobs and everything. We've structured that. We have broadened our news calendar and customized it to each department. So if you go into planning, you'll have only planning news. Police, you'll have only police news. And then our calendar is updated to, you know, both in looks and the way that it all is structured and the way it navigates. And then we'll have a spotlight section at the very bottom that you can get to. Our rule is 3 clicks or 3 scrolls is what we're aiming for. I'm certain we won't hit that on every page, but hopefully you can get everything you need in 3 clicks or 3 scrolls. So when you hit the 3rd scroll, you'll hit the spotlight section, and that's you know, something we'll have stood up for longer term things. So a good example is our Main Street project that's finishing up with the roundabouts and everything. Standing up a page there that people can click into and just get their information instead of having to chase down, you know, 17 different news releases as things get updated. It makes it that living, breathing thing that I was talking about, where they know they can go to that page and get the information they need, or the latest information that we have out on it. The other thing is we added a translation tool that covers with a scroll and throughout every page of the website. It's not perfect. It's powered by Google Translate, and I do understand that has its flaws. But, you know, Mecklenburg County as a whole is a very diverse community with a lot of different languages spoken. And, you know, if you can get a translation tool where you can click it and translate the whole website in one click into something that's 90 to 95% accurate, you're meeting your residents where they are and you're serving them a lot better. So I'd say those 2 things, the structure and the translation tool, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we just added one of those to our website too. Obviously, I think there was an option to translate it before where it was powered through Google specifically, and now it's built into the website, so it makes it more accessible. And I'm just so excited about everything. We're working with our vendor right now to implement something that I think is super neat and that we don't see very often, and it's a search by address feature. I think it would be built into our public works department. We're still trying to figure it out, as this is an ongoing process. But basically, you would be able to enter in your address, and it would tell you what day your trash comes, what day your recycling comes, what, you know, voting district you're in, who your representatives are at different levels, what your closest library is, where your closest park is, things like that. So very proud of all the work that goes into these websites all around. So other departments obviously have a lot of say in our websites and also our content on social media. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I write press releases for our other departments. How are you involved with your other departments in your towns, and what support do you offer them when it comes to communications?
Absolutely. I love the amount of collaboration that my role has with each department in town. So, like you said, press releases, website content. We actually meet with our departments biannually to do a deep clean, deep refresh, in addition to the constant daily, weekly checks. But to keep it living and breathing, right? And a visual impact to boot. But So between their website contact, if they have any promotional materials, a new program, an initiative, obviously I'm working on the communications and marketing strategy with them. But graphic design, promotional materials, how can we make sure that we're branded, consistent, and again, getting that visual impact out. And just coming up with creative ways to reach their constituency. Each department, we've got members of the community that may share the interest in making sure that we're reaching them. So I'm always here to step in and help. And I love that part of just kind of having my hands in everything and being able to work with all departments across town.
Yeah, certainly an important resource to have, because I know for our departments, there are people who do quasi-communications related tasks. They might post to social media. They might write press releases or newsletters or something like that. But just to have somebody who you can turn to whose full-time job is literally dedicated to understanding what people want to see, how they want to receive it, all of that. I think that our staff has had a good experience with having a communications manager and just somebody who has a little more insight into that type of thing.
Absolutely.
So whenever you have a job that's dedicated to something other than communications, it's almost a huge burden to be like, what do I do here?
It's an afterthought, but it's our priority. So it's really nice to be able to go to the experts and help them get their message out.
And consistency is key. I think everybody in comms talks about consistency a lot. Excuse me. But the big point of consistency is that it creates trustworthiness within an organization. So like you said, if you are on the Huntersville website or looking at something from Huntersville, you know it's Huntersville. I always said that if we took the Cornelius logo off of this, would people know it's us? Would they recognize our voice? Would they recognize our branding, our colors, what we're trying to get across and how we're trying to do it? And I think that it is a very slow process because there is so much that we have to look at. We have to look at all of our letterheads. We have to look at what we're putting out on social media. We have to look at the verbs that we choose, and we have to make sure that we're using the same type of language that's readable by a lot of people. And so taxing. It's taxing, but it's important.
But it is, consistency, clarity, and content. Disease.
And what about you, Ethan? Do you do the same type of support for the departments in Huntersville?
Yeah, so continuing with the C's, I try and offer some really comprehensive communication support. A lot of our departments do create and have a lot of input with their own content, but I'd say 90% of it gets funneled through our communications office for, proof and review and making sure it's an AP style. And then also to amplify their reach. So they do have their media lists and their own Facebook pages and everything, but then we have a lot of tools that we can use to expand their reach and make sure that it's targeted and getting to who it needs to get to. I take kind of both a proactive and reactive approach because you can't possibly plan for everything, but I try to plan for as much as possible. So I'd say every 3 weeks, I have a really comprehensive hour-long meeting with department heads trying to tee up the next 3 weeks of, what do you have coming down the pipe that you need support on? What can I do? Do you need a press release? Do you need put on the website, out on social media? Do you need a public input survey? That kind of stuff. And then reactive is, everything's always going to pop up. So they call me, they say, hey, we need this. They pop in my office on a day-to-day, and then we, put our full effort behind it to make sure it's getting out there in all the ways that we usually would. But yeah, so just keeping that check with departments and making sure that I have all the tools in my toolkit that I need to support them.
Yeah, and something very important to do behind the scenes, and I'm sure we all do, is have a plan in place for the things that are unexpected. Whenever an emergency or a crisis comes up, having templates ready to go, making sure that department heads are aware of what's going to be said under certain circumstances and that they're good with it. That, you don't need to make any adjustments to a document that nobody's laid eyes on in years, usually. In a few moments, after we come back from a quick break, we're going to talk about some more improvements within each of our departments and how we can continue to better reach you all. You're listening to About Town, and we will be right back.
Still the one. 76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC. News. Talk. Now.
Well, another nice day on the way across the Lake Norman area. Sunshine is back, so another day to dry things out after a lot of rain on Tuesday. Temperatures getting a little warmer, too, as we climb into the mid-50s, and wind, not so much of a problem this afternoon either. We'll stay clear tonight as temperatures drop back down to around freezing. We'll start our Friday morning with sunshine, but as we head throughout the day, clouds will increase, and you have to keep an eye out for a few showers and a rain chance, possibly even a rumble of thunder as we head into our Friday evening. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Rocky Lynn is playing at Kane Center for the Arts Saturday, January 20th. Having performed all over the world, written hit songs, and mentored artists, Rocky Lynn is making another stop here at home. Rocky Lynn, Saturday, January 20th, kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Quilters and knitters unite! The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza is happening this month at the Statesville Civic Center, Friday, January 26th and 27th. Admission is $5. Come explore the many beautiful fabrics, styles, and maybe even buy a new sewing machine. The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza at Statesville Civic Center on January 26th and 27th. Birkdale on Ice is still going on through January 28th. Time to lace up your skates and hit the ice. To make sure you can skate when you want, we recommend you making a reservation. For skate session info, including times and pricing, visit birkdalevillage.com. Mooresville Parks and Recreation presents the Hitmen of Country, playing at the Charles Mack Citizen Center Friday, January 19th. Love country music? The Hitmen of Country have toured and recorded with some of the country's greatest artists, like Keith Urban, Trace Adkins, Travis Tritt, and Jason Aldean. For more information, go to visitmooresville.com. That's visitmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
We're back with more of About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to About Town. Thank you for tuning in today. I am MaeLynn Joyner, Communications Manager for the Town of Cornelius. I am joined today by Jessica and Ethan, who do what I do for Davidson and Huntersville. And we've probably talked your ear off at this point about websites, and so we'll move on from that. If you want to know any more about my website or Ethan's website or Jessica's website, which is not as new but still very useful, you can reach out to us anytime, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. We are in the middle of budget season right now. I'm sure you guys are as well, and our budget processes all look a little bit different. I know we run an annual budget survey to try and ascertain the priorities of the public. You can find that at cornelius.org, along with many other things. And that survey is crucial. We always talk about engagement, and we always talk about how important it is to get residents involved, because at the end of the day, it's your money, and we want to know what you want us to do with it. And so that's just one of the major tools that we use around this time. Is there anything in particular that stands out in your budget processes as it relates to communications?
I can only speak to so much because I've been here for 6 months. I haven't been through a full fiscal year yet with the town.
Sorry
so I
to hit you with the hardball.
No, you're fine. I don't know what we usually do. And, we do have an all-new board, so I'll be excited to see how they approach the budgeting process. But from a communication standpoint, I know the basics of what we'll do is pretty much what I've done with all of my other government communications job, which is, press releases when the budget's available for review, so people know where to find it, how to go through it, how to critique it, and then writing articles about any decisions made surrounding the budget, and then advertising the public hearings where people can come and give their feedback during the town board meetings. And then, a really important piece is that follow-up once the budget has passed and people have had their chance to give all their input. Make sure that we're communicating, what's in the budget, how large it is, what we are spending on, what we aren't spending on, and trying to make that a sustained effort throughout the fiscal year, kind of hit one thing per month of, did you know this was in the budget, and here's why it's in the budget, here's how we're spending it, to increase that transparency and that trust with our residents. And, I always encourage people to, once the budget goes live, and you see that on our website, huntersville.org, or any of our social media pages advertising that, go in, pick it apart, write into staff. We'll pass it along to the board. And all the information for our board members is on our website. So, if you want to give input, feedback, their emails are right there. Their phone numbers are right there. Feel free to give input that way. But I will be excited to see what this board does in terms of any new or novel ways to promote engagement with the budget.
Yeah, every budget is interesting and unique in its own way. And just to clear up a common misconception, when you email anybody in either of our towns or in any of our towns, it does not disappear into the ether. Somebody does read it. Somebody absolutely considers it. So please reach out to us, anytime you need to.
Absolutely. And I'd just like to say, same. And in the town of Davidson, we are looking forward. We're getting ready to formulate our next strategic plan, which really, lends itself to the budget process as well as our 10-year comprehensive plan. And then in the spring of 2024, we'll be conducting through Polco survey, the Davidson Community Survey. So it's the National Citizen Survey, again, as a checkpoint for residents. What is of importance to you so that we can make informed decisions? Our board can make informed decisions for our residents. So I'm really looking forward to that. And, this budget year, they've really, I've been impressed. Again, about 6, 7, 8, am I 8 months in? But just diving in and digging, they really have placed a focus on investing in their people. So the town of Davidson's been able to maintain our existing staff while adding on and expanding with a few new positions within our police department, our public works department, a new town arborist, a new sustainability manager. So it's been really invigorating to see the focus that our town puts on their people. And then they've also, of course, invested in our affordable housing efforts. We've allocated funds to the Community Investment Fund for capital improvement projects. So I look forward to seeing the continuation of that and where the rest of the process leads us.
And I don't know if you guys do this every year, but I know a few years ago, Davidson did something that I thought was amazing. And it was just this one-page infographic on what was funded in the budget. I'm pretty sure it was award-winning.
Yeah,
So.
It was. Thank you. And we look forward to doing that as well. And again, inviting our residents and community, email, call, stop by, come to the public hearings, make public comment throughout the year, right? It's a cumulative compilation of thoughts and resources that we put into deciding the budget. So, but yeah, I love a visual impact. Y'all have been talking about your website, townofdavidson.org. I too am working to strive for a visual impact, easy navigability, getting you where you want to go. In 3 clicks or less. That's right.
If we can.
If we can, we do our best.
We always try.
We do our best.
Is there anything you guys are gunning for in the next budgets? Anything that would help benefit communications that, either your boards or your citizens have requested? There's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah. I feel like for us, we're still evaluating what exactly it is, because communications is so important, not just as a department, but as a concept. Really, really getting in touch with people and making sure we're doing everything we can. A lot of communications people are just departments of one, and so it can be a challenge at times, but it's always worthwhile, whenever you hear somebody say, you really helped me out with this, or you really helped me find something that impacted me in a positive way. It means the world and more. So, any tools that we can adapt or adopt in order to make that more efficient is a great thing.
I think we're just still evaluating and reevaluating, what.
Always evaluating.
Yeah, always. What's working? How can we improve? How can we do better? What are the needs? So I know I'm just kind of in a constant state. I don't know if I have a specific to mention.
I know we have a few things that we are thinking about, but, we have our board retreat coming up in February, and we'll be shopping the ideas around then. And after then, we should have a better idea of the actual firm asks that we'll be making for the next budget cycle.
Well, I can't wait to see what comes out of each of our budgets. They not only affect our towns and our residents, but also just the region as a whole. North Mecklenburg really operates as one entity in a lot of ways. We have a lot of collaboration between our towns, and so it's a great thing to see. I will stop talking now, and I will give you both a few minutes to just tell me whatever you want to about what's happening in your towns. Go for it. What's coming up?
free-for-all.
Go
What's
for it.
coming up? Well, in the immediate Monday, the Town of Davidson will celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll have a program at Davidson Town Hall and Community Center held in the auditorium. Music starts at 9:30. Program starts at 10 o'clock. We'll have light refreshments after. There's no cost. We welcome everybody in the area, in the region, to come and share in our day of service and celebration honoring Dr. King's legacy.
Awesome.
Really looking forward to that. We are also reopening, grand opening, and cutting the ribbon for our Town of Davidson Public Safety Building at 216 Main Street.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So that's February 8th, 5:30 p.m. Again, all are invited to come and share in the celebration with us. So that's the town events calendar. But in addition to the parking app, we're looking forward to social districts in the Town of Davidson this spring in advance of our concert series. We'll have our classic concerts on the green and circles at 30. And we're going to start a new music and makers series this year in collaboration with some small businesses in town. So
Super fun.
Super fun. I'm ready for the spring.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, a little
That
bit.
we never really got winter.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
What about you, Ethan? What's going on in Huntersville?
So I will again plug the website. Be on the lookout for our new website, huntersville.org. Launching on January 31st. As always, keep a check on the Town of Huntersville app. Go to your app store and search Town of Huntersville and download the one with our green H logo. We push out a lot of updates through there, and it all links back to our main website. So if an app is easier, please feel free to use it. I will tease the fact that in 2024, we'll be launching a town newsletter. We started staging signups for that and standing up the framework for that, and we're workshopping some names and the framework of content. So be on the lookout for that coming up. I know we have a lot of good events programmed coming up. We have a lot of Black History Month events, some Easter events, our Spring Growers Market, summer concert series, Lollapalooza. But to bring it all home and loop it back around to the website again, we keep that calendar updated very frequently. So feel free to go to huntersville.org and check the calendar. Everything is listed on there, and it is far too much to remember. Jessica did a way better job on specific dates and times, and I don't have that.
Former
My apologies.
scheduler. Jessica has notes.
Yeah, so just check the calendar, and I would say check our Facebook pages. The main Huntersville page, and then the Parks and Recreation Huntersville page, and the Huntersville Police Department Facebook page. Keep a regular check on those for any upcoming events, but get excited for an awesome new newsletter and a great new website.
Yeah, so to sum it all up, we're all very busy towns, and you'll have plenty to do.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We're excited to see you out and about. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions you want to share before we go?
So mine's the same as it is for the past couple of years. It's a little bit of a personal motto, but it's, show up, work hard, be kind, and make yourself proud. And I think if you can do those things on a day in, day out basis, you'll do pretty all right in life. So that's what I try to do.
Well, that's my New Year's resolution now.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good
I like that one.
Yeah, I just plan to continue to stretch myself and grow personally and professional into, the positive direction that we all strive to head, and to drink more water.
Yeah, that's important. I think for me, it's just remembering that you can only make decisions today. You can only affect today. You can't do anything about yesterday or tomorrow until it comes. So live every day with a little bit of intention. And that's our inspiring final few minutes for you. Thank you guys for all listening today. We appreciate you tuning in and your continued support of each of our towns. Be on the lookout for lots of fun stuff to come this new year. And happy Thursday to you all. Thank you for listening to About Town. I'm MaeLynn Joyner, filling in for Mayor Woody Washam, and we will see you next week.